The origin of this concept of citizenship was, or rather the citizenship that we talk about, was first introduced by Swami Ragnathananda, who was, as many of you might be aware, is also addressed in this institution many times, and he was the president of the Ramakrishna order. And he has spoken on, he in fact spent many years of his life thinking about the problem of transformation in our nation. I will start off by walking you through the idea or the core concept behind citizenship. This will help you have a conceptual background before we start out on what we are doing. What we need to recognize in this idea of citizenship is that its origins are spiritual. Its origins are not born, it is not a concept that you are simply using. It's not a catchword or a nice smart word that you're using. Citizenship is actually a deep spiritual idea, because we need to recognize that if you want to bring about human transformation, the ideas with which you work on have to come from that space within human beings. You cannot, through mere knowledge, change people's hearts. It is not possible. The reason we use the word spiritual is because it has to touch both the heart and the head. This is the first big idea that he presents in this lecture. He says that each of us have got two aspects to ourselves. One is the deeper aspect of being, where I am asking the question, who am I? And the second is the aspect of function, which is what do I do? I do not know whether you notice, but even in our own introductions of ourselves, it is being and function that most of the time we introduce ourselves to people at a level of function. Even in family, mother, father, son of so and so, father of so and so, etc. At work, GM so and so, DGM so and so, etc., etc. Either position, which is one layer below, which is even further than what do I do. It is what position I have been given in order to do what I am doing. Or you can say doing means I am accomplishing this thing here. The first big insight that he shares with us is that most of us are so locked up at the functional level of our life that we are lost touch with that being level of ourselves. At the functional level, I always am playing a specific role, but at the being level, I am a citizen. I am free. I am a participant. I am a member of a collective. What it implies is that every one of us in this room have got different functions and what do I do and specific roles. But there is an essential equality among all of us. There is an essential community among all of us. There is an essential shared purpose among all of us. And that is at the level of being. The question is, what do you recognize in your day-to-day work? If you go on paying too much attention to the role, then after some time, you actually see the world in steps, in hierarchies, structures, in which there are pyramids where somebody is sitting at the top and bottom. You cease to be equal. What is the implication of that inequality? A person who is unequal with his boss is unequal with his subordinate. Very simple. No bones about it. A person who attempts to please a boss will expect his subordinates to please him. Such a person sees the world in grades. You are judging humanity on the basis of what position they have. He is valued by me or not valued by me depending on whether he is someone who matters to me in my role or not. is dehumanizing. It takes us away from our being. A person who is locked up in role and in function all the time is not likely to serve any purpose. He is not likely to find joy in serving of anybody. But when there is a being at which you are operating, both of these, this entire thing opens up. The same thing happens in a family, right? If I am a member of a family and I treat myself as an equal member of the family, then actually I will do what it takes for that family to succeed. For every member of that family to succeed. If a person is locked up in his image that he is the head of the family, then all his life goes in actually controlling other family members and making them toe his line rather than simply working for the good of all. These are very obvious truths. They are human truths. These are truths that we live in our life. But they are central to the question of citizenship. Now, what happens when someone is in that citizenship or that being state of mind? And what happens when you are in function? When you are in function, finally you end up being in a static mode of mind. A static mode of mind means one which is focused on process. We have to do things in a particular way. Reactionary always. Because you're reacting all the time. You're trying to anticipate. Will he like it? Not like it? Will it be accepted? Not accepted? Will this fly? What will others say about it? So you are constantly in reaction mode. There is no freedom actually. And you are always in historic modes of thought. What did the previous incumbent do? What will be? How is it being done before? Am I allowed to do these things? Not allowed to do? Many questions come up here. You are caught by the structure of your life. But when you enter that state of being, you are free of that. Now you will do what is necessary to be done to meet that purpose. And automatically you become dynamic. Again, going back to the family example, you can see that difference between one parent and another. There are parents who come from the static mode of mind, so they demand certain behaviors from their children, certain behaviors from their wives, from their husband, from their fellow men. They expect certain things to happen in a particular way. It's all rigid. Then the same children go out and look for that freedom. Same thing when they operate from a dynamic state of mind, they're looking for what is good, what will be good for that person, then things change. This dynamic state of mind is the holy grail that we are chasing in citizenship. The essential axiom that we have is that people are infinitely free, that they are capable of immense amount of imagination, they are capable of strength, they are capable of achieving a lot. You have to create the conditions for them to unleash it. Of course, it's like somebody who's caught in a cage. If you remove that, if you open that animal after it's been in cage, and I'm using that analog very carefully, and it comes out, it is not able to move for some time because it says, it is trying to find, even a bird, it might just stand outside because it's now bewildered. It doesn't know what to do with freedom. Understood. Agreed. And we are going to face that among our peers. But let it fly a little, let it fly and say, try here, try here, try here. Once it tries a little, then after that it will experiment for itself. And from there onwards, it will discover that dynamic state of mind. Because it's a joyful state. It's a state which you don't want to let go of. One thing I can assure you, that those who experience that inner state of dynamic state of being, even once in their life, even for a few events, they remember those events as the happiest events of their life. These are the ones, and they might have worked very hard. They might have not got any benefits as the world sees benefits. But all of them are deeply satisfied with those events in their life. The idea is to create the condition that people can live more and more in that state of being rather than in the state of function.